I know that it's kind of late where I am in the universe, but I just flow with the way, as of now, the way my son and my life goes, and we're okay with that. And once again, I'm sharing different little pieces and aspects of life because that's a part of it. Often you're a social media content creator and influencer. People get one understanding or one idea about you, as well as, what your haters are trying to project about you. And I'm going to say this, what I noticed, I probably put this on my YouTube, because again, sometimes the stuff that's most trending is the stuff that's to help perpetuate their agenda. And so I'm going to start uploading more of these types of things onto my YouTube because it needs to be understood. It needs to be seen. And it's a part of helping the world to understand balance and helping the world to understand that not everything is quite as it seems. And sometimes people do have an agenda, okay, whether they know that or not, okay, whether they can personally relate to that or not, okay. This is all still connected to narcissistic abuse, okay, the more covert nature, which is the hidden. If you all have followed me long enough, you have heard me give examples of different movies like Mommy Dearest, movies like Run on Hulu, Misery, and I give those examples because we watch it from a movie perspective and we see the backdrop of what the characters in the movies aren't seeing the whole unfoldment. And our lives is much like that, right? That is what covert abuse or narcissism is about. The world doesn't see the backdrop, just like in the movies, the world in the movies. We see it, right? They don't see the Mommy Dearest. They don't see the movie Run. I hope you all have checked it out on Hulu. Because essentially, for all intents and purposes, as far as the world knows, these are wonderful people. Okay? And they do the provocation. They provoke the hate. They provoke by their incessant abuse. By their ongoing incessant abuse that they pretend to not be doing. They'll say things like, well, I know I wasn't a perfect mother and I wasn't a perfect father. Right? I did the best that I could to make up for not being a perfect mother and a perfect father. And that's usually abusers' storyline when they're talking to people. Like, I know that I wasn't the greatest of parent when I was raising them. That's to allude to you that is the only time that they have been abusive. That is to allude to you that is the only time they have done anything foul or wrong. That is to allude to you that though they reflect on when they raised the person, later in life, they're not like that, and they can't do anything about the past. They can't do anything about the childhood because the childhood is gone, even though a lot of them never really fully even own up to what they did in that. Some of them, when you're talking about narcissism and narcissistic abuse, they never really own up to all that they did even in the childhood. They don't own up to the fact if they were in some kind of real weird cult. They don't own up to the fact that they may have sacrificed you to some cult as they got involved with some really weird people in another state. They don't ever allude to you. You see what I'm trying to say? Any of that. Okay? They never fully atone, right? But these are things that they would do as they go to counselors, as they go to, religious leaders and whoever it is they go to convince, as they're crying and sobbing about they don't understand how come the collective hate them so much, or how come the collective is being this way. They try to make it up. This is all, and for the world, just for you all to know, that's also abuse. It is. It's further abuse, and it's creating heaps of abuse, because not only is it denial of the reality, it's denial of what was done in the childhood, but it's also denial of what they're continuing to do. And then it is adding other people into the mix to get on their team. Narcissists and sociopaths are excellent at that. Okay? But this is triple abuse on a survivor. Okay? I talk about the mommy dearest and those things because that's been my way of trying to help the world. But now, collective, we will continue to share these types of bits and pieces of us so that the world can equally see that. Because we do have people trying to manufacture us to be unhinged, manufacture us to be unstable, manufacture us to be by this behind the scene provocation, right? By this incessant, ongoing, secret provocation. So as we keep working on our balancing out and, sharing this side, the right people, okay, those that are intelligent enough to look past, the norms and limitations and even the flattery of your abusers, to look past the fondness, the familiarity, the tears, the fake, witnesses and co-signers of all of their stuff, right? Mommy dearest, I love that example. Because again, this is a lady that was famous, beautiful, and at time she was known as some kind of giver to charity or philanthropist in her time, and she was those things. The reality is she was. She did give to charities. That's a fact that they could trace. Okay, she was those things. Okay, in fact, she took away her adopted children's stuff for that, but she didn't show that to the world. What she showed to the world is how giving she was to her orphaned adopted children. How well kept she kept them, how cute they were, how mannered they were, how she showered them with everything. That is what she told the world. That is what she presented to the world. And as far as the world knew, that is what was truth. The only ones who knew anything at all remotely different would be her Johns. Some of the Johns that she would fool with, okay? And her maids, okay? But these people were kind of vowed, and under her spell and vowed to like secrecy and shit. It's just, but those were the ones who knew. Do y'all understand that? And that's this life. That's not gonna change. So if you're wanting to understand a survivor and you're just unsure, go watch some of those movies. Go research covert narcissism. Go research cults, cult families. Go look into some of this stuff for yourself and see what you feel and come up with. Okay? That'll help you all. If you're trying your best to understand something that's so complex, it's like, okay, go watch some of these old school movies. Go research covert narcissism. Go research cults, cultic families. Okay? so that you can get a handle of understanding, yeah, you're looking at all the wrong things. Okay, anyway, to my survivors, secret ingredient, cumin. I love cumin. Oh my God, it's one of my favorite, it's one of my favorite seasonings. It's like the secret ingredient in chili. Cumin. To me, anyway, it's one of the secret ingredients. So I'm making kind of a fast version, kind of cheap version of chili, okay, and chili beans, but I'm making it, you know, like I said, this is the fast version. This is a cheap version of chili. So I do have chili canned with beans, because that's the cheap version. Otherwise, you cook the beans and you know, you make the chili and you get the tomato and you get all the ingredients. So this is the cheap version. I got a can of chili with beans, and now I'm grounding some ground beef, and I'm adding all of the, you know, extra chili-like type of flavors to give it that real chili oomph. Right? Yes, sir. I'm gonna put a little chili powder, the cumin. Okay. And the thing about this, you know, we can eat it with crackers, we can eat it with flour tortilla shells, we can eat it plain. You know, we can eat it with cheese, without cheese. Right? Green onions, I like to add sometimes, not all the time. I'll add some chopped up green onions. Like once I put it on the plate. I know some people put chives, I'll put green onions. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm going to actually put this on my YouTube. I am. As odd as it may be. But people need to see all of it. Not just aspects, right, that the toxic ones love to exploit. They need to see all of it. And I'm going to make a note again. And I'm going to bring this to y'all's attention. It's funny how when I'm more in my shadow to confront what's being done to me with passion and fire, you know, that people are saying are either unhinged or abusive. It's funny how many people I'll have to come in. This is how I'm confirming that it's an agenda. And what they're afraid more than me exposing, even to some extent, because I know they're afraid of that, but they're afraid of people seeing me as I am. The truth. Because this is the personas that they're wanting to destiny swap. This is the personas that they are trying to enmesh themselves in and embody, but not authentically, not in their own right. You don't do that by abusing someone secretly. You don't do that by attacking someone secretly. You don't do that by baneful work on someone and trying to plot and scheme behind the scene. That is not how you embody the authenticity of this energy. But these types aren't interested in authenticity. They're interested in image, money, clout, oohs and ahs, but they have absolutely no interest in the authenticity of it. This is why they can be behind the scenes and do the things that they do in the name of trying to destiny swap essences, right? And we are going to put that to shame. We bleed red like everybody else, which means at some point there's going to be an explosion when you keep bothering people, and that's not what toxic equals. So all of this myth and misconceptions about toxicity and mental illness. The real mental illness and the real toxicity is in the people that are behind the scene doing all sorts of horrible things, and yet they stand right in front of you and they pretend to not do it. That's mental illness. That's toxicity.